Welcome, Apple genealogists. I'm David, and today I'm going to walk you through some workflows that are specific to the Apple ecosystem. Everything I'm going to show you can be done with your Mac and iPhone. No external third-party apps or subscriptions required. It's a short video, so I'm going to focus on three things. One, importing documents and renaming them. Two, photo editing, including metadata. And three, I'll cover a couple of other apps that are included that you can go check out yourself. Let's get started. Yes, there are dedicated scanner apps, and yes, you can import directly into Apple Notes. But this is a much more direct way to digitize your documents, get them straight to your desktop where you can start working on them. Here's our Mac, and I have my iPhone nearby. They're both logged into the same iCloud account. To start, right-click on your desktop, come down to Import from iPhone, and then click Scan Documents. This pops up, and you'll see that your phone automatically goes into camera mode with the camera on. Hold it over the document and it'll automatically detect the edges. Scan it, go ahead and hit save, and you'll see that it instantly appears here on the desktop. Preview has a lot of great features. To start, come over here and hit thumbnails. If you have a multi-page document, it'll show you everything over here. We can do a few things here. To start, make sure for tools, come over here to rectangular selection. Highlight what you want. Command K will crop the document, such as rotate if you scanned it the wrong way by hitting Command R. A bunch of other annotation options up here, which are hidden behind this button here. Now, hypothetically, let's say you found another document that you meant to add to this one. It's a two-pager and you only scanned the first page. Come over to the sidebar, you'll right-click and see that you have the same options as when you right-clicked on the desktop. Click Scan Documents again. Same thing will happen with your phone. But then, instead of appearing on the desktop, it'll appear as part of this document. Do the same thing as you did before with cropping. Apple also does optical character recognition, so you can do text selection and highlight specific parts of your document to copy and paste out if you'd like. But we don't have to do this one page at a time. I'll show you how we can do all these documents at once, and it'll speed up the process even more. We'll do the same thing we did before. Right-click on the desktop, come down to Import from iPhone, click Scan Documents. See our phone changes. It'll automatically scan the first document, and then just move on to the next one. It'll scan that, and just keep on going. I'll speed this up for you so you don't have to wait as long. Now we'll tap Save All 9. There, now we have all our documents saved in a single PDF. Of course, this isn't optimal because these are different documents, but Apple has made it easy to divide these into their own individual document. And again, we can rotate Command R. We'll get these facing the right direction. And it looks like the rest of them are doing okay. Now, this first death certificate, to make it its own file, just drag it out from the sidebar, put it on the desktop, and it creates its own PDF. We can do this for each one of the files. Now let's say we wanted both of these documents to be in the same file. You can select them both by holding down Shift and then dragging them to the desktop. You can see that it's put them both in the same document. Very handy. Now you can see we have a duplicate here. Now to get rid of a page in a multi-page PDF, just select the one you don't want, hit delete, easy as that. You can also reorder pages in your PDF. Just select the one you want to reorder, drag and drop it into the right place, and let go. Once you're done exporting all your documents from the single document, you can go ahead and close it and delete it. We don't need it anymore since we exported everything from it. Now we have a bunch of PDFs sitting on the desktop that all start with scanned document. To rename a large number of documents at once, and it doesn't even have to be documents, it can be any file type. To rename them, select them all, right-click, come down to Rename. This will open the Rename window and give you a bunch of options. You can replace text within a file name. So if you wanted to say, replace document, and replace it with birth cert for birth certificate, you can see that it updates the file name for you. You can also add text either before or after the existing name. And this is great if you're scanning old, for example, vacation photos, and you have 100 photos of when you went to Disneyland in 1987. You've scanned them all, add Disneyland trip 1987 to the front of the existing file name, and it will rename them all for you. I'm just going to change everything to scanned 1, and you'll see that it automatically counts up for you and renames all the files in numerical order. Now on to photos. You can right-click on your desktop to import photos directly, just like we did with documents. However, you can only do those one at a time. I recommend taking photos with a regular camera, and assuming you're signed into iCloud Photo or Google Photos, that'll automatically sync to your computer. The Photos app has some great photo editing tools that may prevent you from needing to pay for a Lightroom or Photoshop subscription. To begin, open up your Applications folder and select Photos. You can see I have a photo here that I took earlier with my phone. However, before we jump into editing it, I like the idea of not having my family history photos mixed in with my day-to-day photos of receipts and screenshots and random videos and things like that. So we're going to create a separate library just for our family history photos. Here's how you do that. First, we'll export whatever photos we want to put in there. Select, come up to File, Export. We want to export the unmodified original. We'll just save that to the desktop. And then we'll quit Photos. Come to Photos again, but before you open it, hold down the Option button while you double click. And this will take you and show you your default photo library, which is this Photos library. It's a system photo library. That's the one all your photos are in right now. However, you can create a new one. So come to Create New, and we'll say Family History Photos. And we have a brand new, fresh photo library for you to put your family history photos in, completely separate from your other one. Don't worry, all your photos are still there. They're just in your other library. We'll take this photo, we'll drag it over to import it. Here it is. Double click it. You can see this can use a little bit of love. So come up here to the Edit button. Across the top, we have a lot of great options, and then more details down to the side. For example, this photo has discoloration. If we want to make it black and white again, we can click here. Provides a lot of options if you want to get really granular. I'm good with just pressing auto, and you can see the discoloration is already gone. I'll do the same thing with light. Again, lots of options to play with. I'm just going to select auto. I think that looks pretty good. If you're really into photography, you can come in and play with a lot of different settings. But we're not going to do that today. Instead, we're going to come across the top. Filters, if you would just want to use a default filter, we're going to crop it, of course. Great, looks good. If your phone doesn't take a straight-on photo of this image, you can tilt it in a lot of different directions to make sure you're looking at it head-on. Now I'm going to show you a new tool that's available on Mac and iPhone. It's called Cleanup. You tap that. Cleanup is a new AI tool Apple's released that performs a similar function to clone, healing, or retouching tools in Photoshop, but it does it automatically for you instead of you having to learn how to use that tool. Come over here. This changes the size of your cursor. You can see it changing here. Now what you do, just come over, and if you see a spot you want to clean up, just circle it, and the AI will do its best job to clean it up. Here's some photo damage. We'll just drag it over there, give it a second, and it gets cleaned up. All this is happening locally on your device. None of the information is going to Apple or some other server. It's all happening right on your Mac. It's not perfect, but it does a really good job of getting the basics down. You can see this line going up the front. We're just going to select all of that. And there we go. And you get the idea. Photo looks pretty good. Now the nice thing about Apple Photos is it always keeps your original photo, even after you've made edits to it. And you can see up here, revert to original. I could come back to this photo a year from now and still be able to go back to the original photo that I imported into my computer. This is a nice option. When you click it, you can see what the photo used to be and what it is now. You can see this is a big improvement in just a few seconds, all using the built-in Photos app. And now we have our photo. However, if we come up to Info, this is when the photo was scanned, not when it was taken. And we, of course, want to know when it was taken. So to change that metadata, just double click on the date. So we'll say this was taken in 1946, for example. great. We'll say that the time is just fine. Let's take in Glendale, California. So we've updated that, and now as far as location, we can assign a location. Glendale, California. If you have a specific address, you can enter that here. You can see now that the metadata for the location has been updated as well. How do you get back to your other photos? It's easy. When you quit out of this, want to reopen photos, hold down the Option key again, and you're going to have the option to go into your Family History Photos library or your regular one. Just click your regular one, choose Library, and you'll be back to all your other photos. One important thing to remember is that iCloud Photos will only sync your primary photo library. Any additional ones you add, such as your family history library, won't be synced with iCloud Photos. So it's very important, as always, with everything, to have a backup of all your data on your computer. Lightning round. First up, iCloud Drive. If you're already paying Apple to sync your photos or back up your iPhone, you have access to iCloud Drive. It's essentially the same thing as Google Drive or Dropbox. You may be able to cancel one of those subscriptions and not have to pay twice. You can find iCloud Drive by opening Finder window, coming down here in the sidebar, and you have iCloud Drive right here. Next up is a new voice recording feature in both Apple Notes and in Voice Memos. Open a new note, look for this icon up here. Now, when you hit record, it'll record what you're saying, but also transcribe it in real time. Hey, I'm recording for my Roots Tech video. I really hope I do a good job. This would be great for doing an oral history. Let the camera roll, it'll transcribe everything for you. Then at the end, copy and paste out the transcription, but then it can also generate a summary. So if you're doing one chapter at a time, for example, hit summary and you'll have a great chapter header. All this happens locally on your computer without ever being sent off to any servers, including Apple's. Next up is Pages, which is Apple's version of Microsoft Word. It's free and included on every Apple device. It can import and export Word documents, so it's very cross-compatible, and has a great feature. You can export as an EPUB. Let me show you how. This is Pages, and I'll open my personal history Pages document. Now, if I want to make this an ebook, instead of having to send out a Word document or a PDF for people to read through, I can do it as an EPUB, which makes it available on many e-readers, so it'll be more accessible to your family and friends. Just come over here to File, come down to Export to, select EPUB, enter the relevant information, hit Save, and your personal history is ready to share. I hope sharing these things lowers the barrier to entry for people. You don't need to go out and spend a lot of money on extra software or services because you have a lot of things built in that are ready to help you digitize your important family history documents and photos. Thank you for watching. We've just scratched the surface on what's possible. If you have any other ideas or want to share what you do with your Apple devices to help you with family history, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. My email address is rootstech@starvedfool.com. Thank you.